Under my administration, 7 million Americans have come off food stamps and 10 million people have been lifted off of welfare. The state of our union is stronger than ever before.
The president hitting on a number of topics in his State of the Union speech tonight.
The president's speech being called optimistic and very much looking forward to the future.
ABC's Serena Marshall joins us now live from the Capitol with the latest tonight on reaction from the State of the Union. Good evening, Serena.
Good evening. That address to the nation coming just one day before the vote in the impeachment trial of the president in the Senate, but President Trump avoiding any mention of the impeachment, instead focusing in on his administration's accomplishments. But that chamber tonight was obviously very icy. Walking into the chamber that impeached him less than 2 months ago, the tension high. The House Speaker introducing him.
Members of Congress, the President of the United States.
But leaving off the typical phrasing that includes her high honor and distinct privilege. President Trump apparently giving her the brush off, not shaking her hand, but quickly pivoting, moving to tout his accomplishments in what he dubbed the Great American Comeback.
Jobs are booming, incomes are soaring, poverty is plummeting, crime is falling.
But the partisan divides of Congress on full display. His caucus giving him their full endorsement. The other side, not so much. The first bipartisan standing ovation.
Mr. President.
When the president surprised the chamber, announcing his guest, Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido. Then the president turned to health care.
We will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions.
Democrats jeering, pointing at the president and yelling, "You," likely referencing his Justice Department's decision to fight the Affordable Care Act, which currently is the only law to protect pre-existing conditions. The producer president using this speech for some made-for-TV moments, presenting Rush Limbaugh via the First Lady with the Presidential Medal of Freedom and welcoming home a soldier, a family surprise homecoming in real time. As he wrapped it up, the House Speaker not trying to disguise her thoughts on the president's address. The partisanship and tension in the chamber almost palpable. The president really using the speech to also focus in on his base, just as Democrats did during their rebuttal, talking about jobs, healthcare, infrastructure, and even mass shootings. Reporting live from Capitol Hill, Serena Marshall, ABC News. Now back to you.
All right, Serena, thank you. Now, as we heard tonight, President Trump boasted a lot about the economy and said the middle-class boom is a blue-collar boom. A few things he mentioned that apply to us here in Idaho. Idaho's unemployment rate set a record low under President Trump at 2.7%. And since the president's election, 61,000 jobs have been created in the gem state, including 6,000 manufacturing jobs. And as more Idahoans are working, unemployment insurance claims are down 13%. And Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson released a statement following the president's address. It reads in part, quote, "The president covered a lot of ground tonight, largely discussing the robust economy we all enjoy. This stimulated economy wasn't by accident. It came from implementing tax reform, trade policies, and by reducing onerous federal regulations. President Trump worked tirelessly to ensure USMCA was signed into law, and under this new and improved trade deal, U.S. agricultural exports alone are expected to increase by more than $2 billion annually, further helping our economy."
Continuing coverage now, there's a new legal twist today in the case of the two missing children out of Rexburg. The grandparents of J.J. Vallow are seeking temporary guardianship. Larry and Kay Woodcock are reportedly asking that they be his legal guardians once he returns. Police have been looking for the 7-year-old and his 17-year-old stepsister, Tylee Ryan, since they disappeared last September. The kid's mother, Lori Vallow, defied a court order to physically bring the children to Rexburg last week, and this has led people to question why Lori hasn't been put behind bars.
It's a difficult spot because we don't know if a crime has been committed. The prosecutor likely doesn't know if a crime's been committed. That's what everyone's trying to investigate.
Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Joshua J.J. Vallow or his stepsister, Tylee Ryan, is asked to call the Rexburg Police Department at 208-359-3000. or 1-800-843-5678. That is 1-800-THE-LOST.
Working on another chilly night ahead here as we take a live look from the Rexburg sky cam. We got some low cloud cover and fog trying to form out there. We will be looking for more snow showers to be rolling in tonight and tomorrow as a series of storms take aim at eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. Right now in Rexburg, we're at 15 degrees. We have cloudy conditions. It feels like 10. Winds out of the southwest at 3 miles an hour. And let's go the opposite end of the Snake River Plain to Pocatello at the Farm Bureau sky cam. We also have mostly cloudy conditions right now, 20 degrees at the airport, and it feels like 9 with winds out of the south at 10 miles an hour. Cloud cover coming in tonight. That's going to help our overnight lows, but it's still going to be pretty frigid with the temperatures, and we're bringing in scattered snow showers as we roll in through the overnight and early morning hours here for tomorrow. Current air temperature outside, we're at 1 below in Jackson, 5 for Driggs, 16 in Idaho Falls, 19 in Blackfoot, and -5 in Montpelier with 3 in Island Park. You add in a little bit of wind. It doesn't take much to start knocking down on those wind chill values. This is what it feels like outside. Check out Pinedale, Wyoming. 32 below zero for the wind chill. West Yellowstone at a frigid 13 below for the wind chill. 15 below in Jackson and 8 below in Driggs. Lows tonight back in many spots close or below zero. Cloud cover and snowy weather on the way for tonight. We'll talk more about that later. Carol, back over to you.
All right, thank you. In January, the Old Town building, which many remember as the Riverside Apartments, was purchased. And now we know what's in store for this historic property. Local News 8 reporter Max Cohan joining us now live to tell us. Max?
Carol, the century-old building is currently configured for 49 apartments. But over the next year or so, crews will work to convert that into 28 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom apartments.
So from the time demolition is done, which we're expecting about 2 months on that, we're roughly 12 months for the entire construction process.
Chris Peterson of CP Integrity Construction is handling the renovation of 729 West Center Street. For the past couple weeks, crews have been clearing out the property to prepare it for construction.
So in the first 2 weeks, we've hauled away 4 semi-loads worth of debris and garbage that people have just left over the years.
Over the next 14 months, between 16 and 18 crews will be working on everything from plumbing and roofing to painting. Currently, the next step is to remove any potential lead paint from the site.
So we'll go through and take the precautions that the EPA requires of us. So we'll obviously go through and remove all the trim and doors and windows, and then that will all be hauled off with hazardous waste.
After that, the crews will begin the process of turning the nearly 50 apartments into the 28 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom apartments.
We actually won't remove any walls. They're set up in each of the rooms they're about 12 by 12. That's what they're at. So what we would do is we would close off the bedroom door and then utilize the other door as the kitchen and bathroom entrance, and then in between those where the wall separated, that door will be left there for someone to come in and out of their bedroom.
The final demolition work will fix collapsed roofs and give easier access to plumbing and electricity.
And then at that point, it's a pretty quick put together process with the final cosmetics. Obviously go through and paint. We're going to redo all the bathrooms, kitchens, and then all new flooring. So everything will be brand new when you walk in. It'll smell fresh and clean. No one's moving in until it's completely finished and finalized.
To all the internal work, Peterson says they plan to replace external doors, clean up the parking lot, and even give the building a fresh coat of paint. When it's all said and done, he estimates that construction costs will be about $1.5 million. Reporting live in Pocatello, I'm Max Cohan.
All right, thank you very much, Max. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done, but Peterson says neighbors have given a lot of positive feedback about what they've seen so far.
Pocatello Planning and Development is losing its leader. Director Melanie Gigley will retire from the city February 18th after a nearly 30-year career. She started as a secretary in the department in 1990 and rose through the ranks. She has been such a staple of the community that the city's mayor, Brian Bladd, made a comment saying, quote, "Few people have had as much impact in shaping our community as Melanie. We are truly going to miss her, but we wish her well," end quote. A public open house will honor her service Tuesday, February 18th at 3 p.m. at the City Council chambers.
The city of Blackfoot is asking people what they think of the idea to rename the historic Yellowstone Highway. The old Yellowstone Highway stretches from Pocatello all the way through Blackfoot, through Idaho Falls, and into Yellowstone National Park. It goes by a lot of names. In Blackfoot, the highway goes by 3 names: South Broadway, West Main Street, and Highway 91. According to Kurt Hibbert, the city's planning and zoning administrator, those different names can be kind of confusing for tourists and for emergency services. And the city has 2 main streets running perpendicular, which according to Hibbert is also confusing.
Obviously, we've got a lot of anomalies in the city of Blackfoot that we're working on right now that we're identifying as well. This is just the first and probably the most high-profile road that needs a little bit of attention. So.
The Blackfoot Planning Department is looking into how many addresses might be affected and whether they would have to change their numbers or the street name too. There will be more opportunities for public input before any final decision is made.
An agreement addressing the handling of spent nuclear fuel generated at the Idaho National Laboratory is signed by the Idaho Attorney General and the Governor. The Advanced Test Reactor is considered the world's premier nuclear test reactor, providing nuclear fuel and materials for military, federal, university, consumers, and industry. This new agreement resolves any uncertainty about commitments made in the 1995 Idaho Agreement to eliminate wet storage of spent nuclear fuels. You can find that agreement posted on our website at localnews8.com.
Idaho ranks near the bottom of the pack when it comes to children's chance for success. That is according to a new review of educational opportunities and performance. The new study measures school performance, household income, and statewide metrics like adults with steady employment. The average state score is a C+. Nationwide, the study found opportunities for children tend to decline as they age.
Environmental groups filed a new lawsuit against the feeding of elk on a Wyoming wildlife refuge. The Sierra Club, National Wildlife Refuge Association, and Defenders of Wildlife sued the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in 2019. They say giving alfalfa to elk can encourage the spread of disease. The groups allege in a new lawsuit against the service yesterday that a recently released plan to reduce feeding won't take effect soon enough. Still ahead here tonight, closing arguments wrapped up today in the president's impeachment trial. We will let you know what some lawmakers are thinking about the upcoming vote.
And with all the attention on the coronavirus, we're going to take a look at the flu and how to battle it during this flu season. In your legislative watch tonight, a panel of lawmakers has removed the standards for initial teacher certification. The House Education Committee voted to cut out the rules put forward by the Idaho State Board of Ed. Representative Gary Marshall says cutting the rules will lead to more creativity and result in more teachers for Idaho's classrooms. But Representative Steve Birch says removing the standards lowers the bar and may put unqualified teachers in the classroom. The House voted 55 to 15 in favor of legislation proposed by Idaho Fish and Game to limit the number of out-of-state big game hunting tags for some hunting districts. Then they raised the non-resident fees so the revenue level would stay the same. Representative Clark Kaufman says the bill is aimed at reducing overcrowding from all those out-of-state hunters. If the bill becomes law, the increases would take effect on December 1st of 2020. And legislation granting an emergency water right for crews trying to clean up any spills is headed to the governor's desk. The House voted 70-0 to approve this measure. The State Department of Environmental Quality says it's needed to prevent someone from contending their water rights are being violated when they're trying to do an emergency cleanup. The Senate unanimously approved this measure last month.
The Wyoming Democratic Party is implementing a ranked choice voting system for its presidential caucus April 4th. Democrats in Alaska, Nevada, Hawaii, and Kansas are also implementing ranked choice voting. The county level will be counted in stages. If one or more candidates gets less than 15% of the first choice vote, the lowest performing candidate will be taken out of the running. Looking at your Washington watch now tonight, the closing arguments in the Senate wrapped up today in President Trump's impeachment trial. There needs to be 67 votes to remove him from office. However, many senators do not believe they can get the votes to do that. Some Republicans say the charges do not rise to the level of removing the president. The vote is scheduled for tomorrow.
Still ahead, we take a look at how to battle the flu during this busy flu season. And as we go to break, we'll take a look at our highs and lows from across the region today. Then Mike Coates is in with a full look at your forecast.
In your health alert tonight, flu season is still in full swing and medical professionals are recommending you keep your guard up. The flu and coronavirus have very similar symptoms. Dr. Aaron Gardner, a pediatrician at Just for Kids Urgent Care in Idaho Falls, recommends we watch out for the telltale signs of an infection.
A loss of appetite, cough and congestion, sometimes some nausea and vomiting, headaches, body aches, sore throats, can really run the gamut, but usually those are accompanied by a fever.
And now, your first alert weather.
Another round of snow coming in here for your Wednesday, then warmer temperatures get us in here for the rest of the work week with warming temperatures, scattered rain and snow to close out the week on our way into the weekend. So on the big map tonight, we do have winter storm watches for western Wyoming, winter weather advisories and warnings for far eastern Idaho and the Snake Highlands. This includes the mountains between Driggs, Victor and Swan Valley, so pretty much Pine Creek Pass, and then Island Park under the warning. That's where we're expected to really rack up the snow, but we'll expect to see also that winter storm watch turn to a winter storm warning for Jackson and the Star Valley as we get into tomorrow, and we're going to be heading into some stormy conditions as one system after another takes aim at eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. The first storm is already making its way into western Idaho tonight with a bit of some snow, and we're seeing the snow right now just kind of hanging out there in around, I would say, the Tri-Cities of Washington and getting into eastern Oregon tonight. We'll be looking for more of the stuff overnight into tomorrow morning to get into eastern Idaho with some accumulating snowfall, but there's a little bit of a different twist to these storms. High pressure along the west coast, sending in everything in here from the west to the northwest, coming through on the backside of high pressure, and that's what's heading into our direction as we get into your Wednesday. But with that ridge of high pressure, we're pulling in the upper level winds, and above normal temperatures abound here for the entire region, which means highs for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are scoring into the 30s and 40s, bringing us more of a rain-snow mix. So this is going to be an interesting few days out there because we're kind of get a little bit of everything thrown at us here. Wintry mix, if you will, but we'll get rain, we'll get snow, we'll get some melting, and we'll also have gusty winds. So here's the Vipercast tonight as we go into tomorrow morning. Snow showers starting to pick up as we get into the morning commute here. This is going to be stretching all the way along I-84, all the way out to Boise, in fact. So from Island Park all the way to Boise, we're going to be stuck with snow showers here for a good portion of your Wednesday. Note that Arco and much of the Arco Desert will stay dry. We're going to see a lot of snow showers skipping over Arco. I mean, they're going to try to get some snow out in that direction, but definitely going to see snow beginning to pile up in the Snake River Plain and then far eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. Temperatures, again, warming above freezing for your Thursday and Friday, as we'll have still some wraparound snow showers. First round of snow coming in here for Wednesday tomorrow. And we could be picking up about 1 to 2 inches of snowfall as we get into tomorrow, especially as we head to the afternoon hours. So tomorrow morning, we're just starting to see the snow, and then by the afternoon, about 1 to 2 inches, and then we'll add a little more snow in there for Thursday and Friday. But there's also quite a bit of melting that's going to be happening for the lower elevations. Highs for tonight, highs for tomorrow, I should say, into the 20s and 30s. But the lows tonight, still pretty chilly outside. Not as cold as last night, early this morning, because we have the cloud cover overhead. So that cloud cover tonight really changing up the weather here for tonight. 5 below in Soda Springs, 7 below in Afton, with lows around 5 below in Island Park and 7 below in West Yellowstone. West Yellowstone last night got to 33 below zero at the airport. Yeah, it was ugly. 1 below in Rexburg tonight, 8 below in Jackson, with 2 in Mackay, 4 in Charles. Central Idaho, for the most part, staying above zero tonight, with the exception of Arco. That's because we're bringing in the clouds already this evening. And then the Snake River Plain, we're starting to see the clouds come through. -1 in Idaho Falls and Rigby, with highs into the 20s tomorrow. We'll be in the upper 20s for Pocatello, lower 30s in Burley. Here's your 8-day forecast. Already starting to see that low cloud cover out there, and even some patchy valley fog tonight with scattered snow on the way for tomorrow. Temperatures into the 20s, not making it above freezing tomorrow, but watch what happens on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Numbers get close to 40 degrees by Friday. The numbers will start coming back down to the teens and 20s by next week once we clear out from this wet weather pattern. Pocatello, 40 for Thursday, 43 on Friday, and 40 on Saturday with some lingering rain showers to get us started for the weekend. Overnight lows falling back into the 20s and 30s there. Blackfoot, highs around 38 for Thursday, 40 on Friday with scattered snow and rain showers to finish out the work week. drying things up just a bit for next week with dropping temperatures back into the upper 20s, lower 30s. Rexburg, 21 for tomorrow, 32 on Thursday, and then close to the mid to upper 30s for Friday. We'll be pushing it just shy of 40 degrees even for the upper valley locations with a rain-snow mix in Rexburg and St. Anthony. Central Idaho passing snow showers Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, mixing with rain showers during the day part. And so even in Salmon and Challis, we'll have a rain-snow mix with overnight lows getting back into the teens and 20s. And again, tumbling temperatures once we start seeing drying weather taking hold for next week. Going from Salmon to Jackson. Jackson got snow on the way Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, off and on snow showers. And again, quite a bit of fresh powder falling up there in the high country. So here we go again, another round of stormy weather. However, this bout of stormy weather a little interesting because again, we're warming things up with temperatures getting into the 30s and 40s by Thursday and Friday.
I suppose you want appreciation for that.
No, I'm just gonna.
Thank you.
It's really trying to spin it any. Yeah.
I'm just trying to put a little positive twist to all the complaining.
We'll
I've been
take
hearing.
any kind of positivity you can give us.
But you know, again, with the warming temperatures, we'll see more melting, so that means slush and pools of water around the region.
Hydroplaning.
Yeah,
Woo!
hydroplaning. So driving's
Be
still going to
careful.
be a mess. Yeah, so be extra careful.
Okay.
Okay.
Coming up tonight on Newsline, it is never a good idea to sneak out at night. 2 teenagers did and ended up saving a life. We'll explain that. And an Ohio couple received a few thousand pieces of mail, but it wasn't on purpose. So those stories and more coming up tonight on Newsline Later Edition, and that's on our sister station, Fox 5.
A record held by former BYU great Jimmer Fredette is broken tonight. Dylan Carter joins us with a preview of Sportsline.
You know, Todd, if you're passing Jimmer in the college record books, you know you've done something. We'll tell you which Boise State Bronco did just that tonight. Plus, district tournaments for girls basketball got started in both 5A and 4A. We'll have highlights next on Sportsline.
And now, Sportsline.
Just 7 days ago, Thunder Ridge beat Hillcrest to finish a season sweep over the Rams, but none of that matters now because tonight the two met up again to tip off the 5A girls district tournament. Second seed Thunder Ridge hosting third seed Highland. Titans up 15 at the half, but Rams start the third strong. Long two here by Lydia Mon. A little bit later, Raquel Pokebro with the 3 feet. She finished with 8 points for Highland. Megan Calley right back on the attack. She led the Rams with 9 points. Highland starts the third quarter with a 9-0 run. Titans respond. Aspen Caldwell lays it in for 2 of her game-high 14 points. Later, Lauren Davenport threads the needle to set up Paige Clark, who drops it in while drawing the foul. Clark also had 14 points. Thunder Ridge wins the tournament opener 65-48 over Highland. Titans face top seed Rigby on Thursday. Highland hosts Madison in an elimination game. 4A District 6 tournament also getting started tonight. Hillcrest hosting Idaho Falls. First quarter, Cassidy Sanders goes in strong for Idaho Falls. She gets the bucket and the foul. On the other end, Hallie Carlson feeds Trinity Larson for the layup. She was one of 3 nights with 8 points. Behind all the traffic is Carlson for Hillcrest. She's going to nail the 3-point lead, as that's Kennedy Robertson with the steal and the putback. She led Idaho Falls. Here is Carlson behind all the traffic there. She hits the 3. She led the Knights with 9 points as Hillcrest goes on to win this game 44-25. They will play top seed Bonneville on Thursday. Now here are some of the other results from girls district tournaments that we've gotten so far. Rigby over Madison in 5A. Skyline downs Shelley in 4A. Ryrie big over Salmon in North Fremont gets past West Jefferson in 2A. Butte County eliminates Challis in 1A D1. For more scores from tonight's girls district tournament action and the boys, you can go to sports page of localnews8.com. History was made in Laramie tonight. Boise State's Justinian Jessup passes Jimmer Fredette to become the Mountain West Conference's all-time leader in 3-pointers. He finished with 16 points. Alex Hobbs came off the bench to lead the Broncos with 24 to the 67-62 win over Wyoming. Boise State extends its winning streak to a season-high 5 games. But quite an honor there for Jessup. Because,
well, Jimmer, how long's that been?
That's been a little while. Yeah, of course, when you think of 3-pointers, that's what you think of is Jimmer Fredette. But now the Mountain West Conference has a new 3-point king, and it's Justinian Jessup. It was an all-conference name too, Justinian Jessup.
Gonna keep adding to it.
He will, yeah, he will. He came to the game tied with Jimmer. All he needed was one, so he got that out of the way pretty quick. And he only had two, but one was all he needed.
But Jimmer he launched those like out in the parking lot.
He would, way
out.
Absolutely,
he was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was amazing. So.
All right,
Dylan.
Thank you.
When we come back, a surprise during the President's State of the Union that you don't want to miss.
Before we go tonight, President Trump had a surprise for one of the guests in attendance at his State of the Union. Take a look.
But Amy, there is one more thing. Tonight we have a very special surprise. I am thrilled to inform you that your husband is back from deployment. He is here with us tonight, and we couldn't keep him waiting any longer.
These are my favorite moments of all time.
Aren't these
right
great?
here, yeah. I just think she's the most priceless mother, because the first thing she does is she
bends down the kids.
She
Hey,
goes,
look,
there's Daddy.
Dad's home.
Daddy's home, yeah.
And they seem so surprised. They're almost confused.
Just stuck a little bit, yeah.
Well, I think it's just
you got
because
the applause going on around.
Yeah, all the applause, and they're in this kind of weird
You
setting.
wouldn't expect Dad to be there.
No, not at all. But that's still nothing makes me happier than somebody coming home.
Look at the smile on the little guy.
He finally figured it out.
Yep.
That's Daddy.
He's like,
Reality started to settle in a bit.
Yeah, that was very fun. One of my favorite parts. So yeah. Okay, and then cold. I don't really even want to talk to you. It sounds, I'm in a good warm spot right now.
Yeah, we got some snow already showing up here on Viper Radar, mostly low cloud cover and some light snow flurries. We'll pick up more scattered snow showers for your Wednesday.
Well, there you go.
We should have Carol's warm heart stand outside, and she can help warm us all.
Good night.